In the freezing expanse of the Russian Far East, winter does not forgive. This is the Amur Leopard. With fewer than 120 remaining in the wild, catching a glimpse of this phantom is nearly impossible. But over the next 14 hours, as temperatures plummet and a violent blizzard closes in, she must secure a kill before nightfall, or she will not survive to see tomorrow's dawn. The stillness of the Russian Far East at 5 in the morning is a frozen suspension of life. Ghostly mists roll through the birch forests, wrapping bare branches in delicate frost. As the circadian rhythm of the taiga responds to the muted dawn, a Eurasian eagle owl lets out a haunting hoot, a majestic declaration that the brutal night has passed. Below, a Blakiston's fish owl shakes ice from its broad wings. High upon a rugged outcrop, the rarest big cat on Earth awakens. Its thick coat insulates against sub-zero temperatures. In the valley, the crunch of massive paws echoes. Dictating the ecological balance. Avoiding dispute, a red fox dives into deep drifts, listening for hidden life, while a raccoon dog scours frozen tree roots. The desperate search for energy begins. As daylight illuminates the stark majesty of the Siberian taiga, the ecosystem shifts into frantic vitality. The deep powder snow is a relentless obstacle. Driven by lingering hunger, a massive Ussuri brown bear aggressively excavates a snowdrift. Nearby, a fierce wolverine lopes tirelessly across a frozen lake. High above, the acoustics of a black woodpecker hammer against dead timber. Along the icy creek, a resilient muskrat paddles through freezing currents, whilst an elegant oriental stork stands perfectly still. The native fauna form a staggering web. A sleek sable scurries like a dark phantom, while a plump hazel grouse frantically pecks for hidden seeds. Amidst this flurry, the Amur Leopard navigates her frozen kingdom. Weaving seamlessly through dense birch, she avoids the thundering paths of massive wild boars, silently shadowing the nervous herds of Sika Deer and Siberian roe deer. By midday, an eerie stillness reclaims the forest. In Primorsky Krai, movement comes with a deadly cost: the rapid loss of vital body heat. The ecosystem engages in a paradoxical strategy of survival through absolute inaction. The colossal Siberian tiger surrenders to this reality, lying perfectly flat beneath an ancient pine. Finding sanctuary, the Amur leopard seeks out a shallow, rocky cave. Curling tightly, she wraps her thick tail over her face, using her body as a perfect thermal blanket. As she sleeps, one cannot help but reflect on the profound fragility of this endangered big cat. She is a solitary phantom holding the line against extinction in one of the Earth's harshest environments. A fleeting ghost in a rapidly changing biome, her silent endurance is a sobering reminder of what we stand to lose. This vital adaptation extends everywhere. A tiny Siberian chipmunk retreats to safety, while a delicate, long-tailed tit violently fluffs its feathers, trapping warm air. Sprawling herds of Sika deer bed down in deep drifts, and massive wild boars slumber. A fragile truce binds the inhabitants. As afternoon stretches toward 3 o'clock, temperatures plummet. The desperate need for calories triggers a wave of crepuscular activity. From the undergrowth, a tufted Eurasian lynx begins a silent stalk, targeting a frantic Manchurian hare. Long shadows stretch across the snowfields, forcing the cautious herds of Sika deer to mobilize through snow-choked valleys before darkness falls. Sensing the atmospheric shift, the apex predator stirs. The Amur leopard executes a trembling stretch and begins her descent. Stepping gracefully from the cave, she moves with fluid elegance down snow-dusted boulders. Every footstep is deliberately placed on bare stone. Her exquisite winter camouflage blends seamlessly into the mottled granite. As light wanes, she pulls herself onto an immense, overhanging rocky ledge. Lying flat against cold stone, she stares into the deepening gloom, waiting unseen as the last faint warmth abandons the jagged peaks. twilight sky darkens into a muted blue. A howling snowstorm descends, transforming the taiga into a blinding whiteout. Blizzard conditions aggressively mask all sound. The terrified Sika Deer herd is caught in the open, blinded by swirling snow. Disoriented, one lone deer takes a fatal misstep, isolating itself directly in the kill zone. Above, buried under accumulating snow, the solitary hunter remains completely motionless. The only sign of life is a thick plume of hot vapor escaping her nostrils. In the blinding chaos, she shifts her immense weight. Heavily muscled hind legs coil violently backward into solid ice. The long, thick tail twitches sharply upward exactly one time. With explosive kinetic power, the Amur Leopard launches herself off the sheer precipice. Suspended entirely in midair, she flies downward in majestic slow motion through the dark storm. The isolated deer throws its head up too late. The impact is a crushing thud, driving the prey into an explosion of powder snow. As the terrified herd scatters, the Amur Leopard stands fiercely over her prize. She has conquered the freezing taiga for one more night. But while the Russian winter tests the solitary hunter, a vastly different battle for survival is raging right now beneath the blistering sun of the Kalahari, where a different feline king faces a drought that changes every rule.